frosty winter's day at the tower from which Team CodeRed spent their days. The team were preparing their Christmas arrangements, growing their tree, hanging their ornaments, building their snow armies. But as the weather grew colder and more violent, the winter activities drew to a close.
This blizzard's pretty nasty. I think it'd be best to stay inside for the night.
David, their bodyguard, said.
Hey, it could be worse. We should do something like a team movie night,
suggested Connor.
That could be fun. Any Christmas classics anyone wants to watch?
Oh, there's plenty. But not all of us celebrate Christmas. We should pick something that everyone will enjoy,
says Spencer.
You don't have to celebrate Christmas to love classics, such as...
Let's do horror.
Aaron tries to pipe up, interrupted by Az.
Like a Nightmare Before Christmas horror, or like Friday the 13th horror,
says Spencer.
Wait, why are we doing a scary movie for Christmas? Why didn't we do a scary movie on Halloween?
Asks Emma.
We were a little occupied.
Ren says.
Alright, whoever wants to watch a movie, just head to the lounge and we'll settle this all there, okay?
Says Leaf. Several others agree, and the team split up amongst themselves to indulge in snow day shenanigans. Roasting marshmallows on their magical torch, drinking hot cocoa in the lounge, anything to keep some peace as the violent blizzard raged throughout the countryside, smothering their beloved home. As the harsh winds and heavy snow continued to blind the horizons, Stephen the axolotl and his boyfriend Henry the ice frog watch from the window. Stephen seems more than content to remain snuggled up and warm. Meanwhile, Henry can't help but place a hand on the window, longing for the snow. While Stephen naps peacefully in the warmth of his own flames, Henry hops down and begins hopping towards the door. Suddenly, Stephen awakes to a soft, cold breeze, and the tower's front door being wide open. Narrated and Az are in the middle of a heated round of hit platform fighting game, Pussy Smashers, when suddenly Stephen tumbles into the room, the flames on his head pink and lilac catching the duo's attention.
What's wrong, Stephen?
Naren asks. The axolotl points to the icy wind entering the tower. Naren, Az, and Emma, who is nearby baking cookies, all rush to the door. The three are met with the sight of several feet of snow in the tower's foyer.
Stephen, did you do this?
Az asks. Stephen looks sad and distressed, shaking his little head.
Okay, buddy. Well, don't worry. Let's just dial it back here.
Emma says.
This is not the time for puns.
Az says.
Not the time?
Naren retorts.
Okay, fair. I'll let you have that.
Az surrenders. Emma winds back her magic-enhanced watch, releasing a beam of golden light which strikes the growing snowbank, sending it ticking back through time to where it belongs, outside. Naren is quick with the recovery, closing the door before the snow can come back in.
See, buddy, no problem at all. Thanks for letting us know, though,
Emma says, but she notices Stephen does not look any more relieved. In fact, he seems even more distressed.
Stephen, what is it?
Naren asks, picking up everyone's favorite magical axolotl. Stephen points at the window when the group can just barely make out.
Henry?
The cheerful frog seems unaware of the temporal distortion that just occurred behind him as he continues to hop amongst the heavy snow. His friends, on the other hand, are not nearly as cheerful.
I'll go grab him,
Az says, using their left hand to pry open the barrier between the void and space, igniting a pink portal into the snowscape. They land into the snow and struggle to see amidst the blinding storm. The frog's head pops out of the snow and turns to see Az with a big grin on his face.
Aw, I can't be mad at you. Now come here, buddy. We gotta get you back inside. It's way too stormy out here.
Az explains, picking Henry up and reopening the portal. Henry seems hesitant to enter the blazing portal, so Az closes it and instead opts to use her firepower to briefly melt a safe path back to the front door. The two make their way back to the door despite the blizzard's attempts to blind them from it, though what they are blind to are the icicles above that have broken off from the flash heat below. The crack of the icicles is almost completely silent, blanketed under the howling gusts of snow. but Az notices just in time as she notices the shadow cast on the ground below. She looks up and acts fast, shielding Henry in their arms and ducking. Slash! The front door opens. Az runs in and falls to the ground. Henry hops out, looking sad and scared. The others surround Az. Narrated extends a hand.
You good? What happened?
He asks. Az looks up. Their mask broken in half down the middle, both pieces falling right off.
Oh no.
David says, appearing behind them.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Oh, shit!
Leaf says as he enters the room and immediately notices what has happened.
This is so embarrassing. No way an icicle got...
Az is cut off by her impending transformation as both halves of her body are engulfed in a rage of pure darkness and hellish red pigmentation. More members pool into the foyer. David gestures for everyone to stay back as pink flames burst off of Az.
I'm sorry. We'll figure this out for you.
Leaf says before raising a wall of shrubbery and bark between Az and the rest of the team.
What? What's happening to Az?
Evelyn asks.
Oh shit. Is this her true form?
Red asks.
True form?
Evie questions.
Yeah. Az and I went to this hybrid club one time. They're part demon and part, void?
Red answers.
We don't have time for a lore dump. It's all in the mask. It's kept them in a stable form for some time, but what it's been repressing is likely not very happy. We need to replace it immediately, or else this tower may not still be standing when the storm passes.
David states.
Well, where did the old mask come from?
Asks Evelyn.
Well, I had to fight some demon in hell to get it.
David replies.
Didn't know you were a sarcasm guy, David.
Emma says.
I'm not. That's legitimately what happened.
David explains.
Hey, I'm not just some demon.
Lex pipes in.
Whoa, wait. That was you? Where did you get it?
David asks, bewildered.
You didn't connect the dots? I guess I was wearing the mask, so... Oh, right. I got it the same way. Beat it off some lazy warlord.
Beat it off.
Lex goes on.
Oh, fuck. Are we gonna have to go to hell to help Az?
Evie asks.
The only person who could make that happen is Az. We need a different plan.
Aaron states.
What if we make one?
Ren suggests.
Make a new mask?
Red questions.
Yeah, I've got my book of spells. Maybe if we get StrawBunny to...
Ren begins, before trailing off. They feel it. The room feels cold. Fear creeps into the hearts of Team CodeRed, concerned for the safety of their friend and themselves. The room feels warm. Fire. Demonic void is burning through the plant barricade.
Everyone, go!
Leaf yells as she attempts to reinforce the plant wall.
Everyone, scatter! Try and get to the torch room, and avoid the elevator!
David yells as everyone scrambles. The plant wall turns pitch black, seemingly charred to a crisp at first glance, but the abstract way in which the vines wither is not from being reduced to soot by demonic void's flames, but rather being turned into oblivion by the wrath of the void. Moss Knight's eyes widen as horror as she sees what demonic void has turned into. Z runs. Az runs faster. Leaf's screams are never heard. The void took those too. Our story resumes in the Ruby penthouse near the top of TCR Tower. The Ruby members in their private palace have yet to become aware of the danger that lurks on the ground floor. Nor do they expect Incarone and Engise to emerge frantically from the elevator. Dion and Aaron both emerge in cozy Christmas pajamas with their pause game of Splatoon still audible in the backdrop.
What's going on? You guys, you saw a...
Demonic horror start trying to kill everything? Yes?
Red cuts off.
What?
Aaron asks.
Az's mask broke. Beyond repair. We need everyone we can get.
Ryan begins, turning to Dion.
Especially you, to the torch room.
He finishes.
You have a plan already?
Aaron asks.
If Az's mask is broken, the only hope is to make a new one, so we all need to try and create a stronger mask. StrawBunny, your sketchbook increases your power, right?
Naren asks.
Do I finally get to use it?
Dion excitedly asks.
Please just answer the question.
Red interrupts.
Yeah, if I want to draw what I create in my sketchbook, it lasts pretty permanently.
He says.
Oh, so we're all gonna draw one?
Aaron asks.
I'll just create an array of new masks and keep trying till one works.
Naren goes on.
We need to get going and get pages to the others, ASAP.
Red says.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Aaron agrees. Down in the member dorms, Arma floats up and down the corridor, making sure no members are still in their rooms. They knock before phasing their head through the doors. Door after door, everyone seems to be accounted for until they reach Spooky Bro's door. They knock and the door creaks open.
Connor? Are you in there?
They ask. They go to flick on the light switch, but no light appears. There is no light, only darkness. Ren jumps back as the void's essence attempts to pull them in. The door behind them opens as the darkness once again attempts to ensnare them, but not before Conscicus runs by, using his reality editing magic to crop the space between him and Ren, pulling Ren to safety.
Whoa, thanks.
Ren says.
No problem.
Will replies. Then the two hear another voice.
Guys, up here.
Connor calls out. The purple duo look up and spot Connor in the vents. Connor pulls them up, and the three of them begin crawling through.
It's a tight fit. Sorry, but so far it seems totally safe.
Connor explains, before he realizes William and Ren's expressions are fearful.
Yeah, I don't think I can edit us out of this one, guys.
Will sadly remarks. Connor turns and sees two pink, glowing eyes in the darkness ahead. Amidst the rage of the blizzard, warm crimson light refracts upon snow as the Crimson Crew UFO approaches the tower. Two silhouettes swiftly dance through the snow and hail and enter the tower, brushing themselves off in the comic corridor.
Well, looks like hope isn't totally lost.
Lillian says.
Yet.
Mel adds.
Thanks for the optimism, Lycan.
Suddenly, Evelyn turns the corner.
Lil, Mel, did you guys just get here? You need to go. The tower's on lockdown.
Evie tries to explain.
We know, but we're here to help.
Or at least go down with the rest of the ship.
Okay, seriously, you're being too morbid.
Lil asks before turning to Evie.
Lex called and told us that Az's mask broke.
Yeah, and we don't know what to do.
Evie explains, worried.
Yes, we do. Here.
An Incarone clone is suddenly in the hall and hands each of them a piece of StrawBunny's sketchbook paper.
What are we doing with these?
Mel asks.
Draw mask me, boop. Something stronger than the last that will save Az.
The Incarone clone explains. The three stare at the clone as it runs off.
I'm sure this will make more sense later, right?
Mel asks.
Yeah, probably. Guess we draw now?
Evie awkwardly proposes before the three all look at each other and get sketching. Back into the storm, the balcony doors slam shut as Emma and Spencer lock the essence of darkness in behind them. Demonic claws scrape at the window, creating an ear-piercing sound.
Az, I'm really sorry, but this is for your own good,
Spencer says before unleashing his magical abilities to turn the door into stone.
Hey, good thinking. Now she's sealed in.
Emma says, beginning to shiver.
Yeah, but now we're stuck in the blizzard.
Spencer realizes. Emma hobbles through the snow and looks down from the balcony.
Oh no.
She exclaims.
What do we do? We're gonna freeze out here.
Spencer says.
We could jump into the snow?
Emma suggests.
Girl, no!
Spencer retorts. The two look back at the stone wall that Spencer transfigurated.
What are you thinking?
Emma asks.
Our options are either get sucked into the void in there or freeze to death out here. We have to pick our poison.
Spencer explains. Emma thinks for a moment and then begins marching through the snowy balcony back towards the stone wall, facing her watch at it. Her eyes glow golden as she channels her power to see into the future and find out how this story ends.
Okay. You're gonna need to trust me on this.
Emma says before using her watch to undo time on the stone, reverting it to glass.
What? What did you see? What are you doing?
Spencer asks. The demonic void on the other side of the glass bashes against it, cracking it intensely.
Everything's gonna work out. Just gotta get through the blind spot.
Emma cryptically says before the void breaks through and sucks her into the darkness. Spencer closes his eyes as he braces for the dark to take him too.
Bye. I think I got it. What do you guys think?
Lil asks.
Ooh, sick. Yeah, I like that. I'm almost done with mine.
Evie goes on.
Ah, shoot. Guys, I think we're out of time.
Mel says, pointing out the flaming tendrils of darkness spreading upon the walls.
Those tentacles suck. I can make way cooler ones.
Lil states.
That's great. Let's go.
Evie exclaims, grabbing Lil and running alongside Mel, who is sprinting on all fours. Mel and Evie turn a corner rapidly, but Evie realizes the arm holding onto Lil has been jelly stretched, as Lillian has stayed behind. Evie lets go and solidifies their arm.
Lil? What are you doing?
Mel shouts.
Listen, guys, don't worry. I'm gonna hit the iframe on impact.
Lil says before mutating her body into a monstrous form to fight off the void.
That was cool. My turn.
Evie says before reverting into their default jellyfish form. Mel watches Evie pathetically squirm on the ground as the darkness rapidly consumes them both. While their bodies are sucked into the abstract form of nothing, their drawings mystically float out of harm's way. The pages continue to float through the halls, each door opening for them. They end up flying up the elevator shaft into the tower torch chamber, almost dancing into the hands of David, Dion, Aaron, and Red. The mystical wind reveals itself as none other than Arma.
I grabbed as many as I could. Hopefully at least one of these will work.
They say.
Oh, damn! These are all gorgeous!
Aaron remarks.
That's great, but there's no time to waste. Dion, you can bring all these to life? Time is running out.
David says.
Yeah. Okay, Ren, you ready?
Dion asks.
Let's get started.
Ren replies. The two of them stand in front of the almighty torch as Dion uses his ability to bring ideas to life to give physical form to the various masks designed by the fallen members, while Ren uses their book of necromancy to enchant each iteration with dark magic powerful enough to keep the monster at bay within Az. David and Red, with Steven, watch hesitantly at the door, expecting any moment for the darkness to come raging in. But suddenly, David's phone rings. It's Richard, the Code Green scientist. David answers.
David, you still alive? Good. What's going on? We've got no way out of here. Can you...
Richard's voice trails off, and he's evidently consumed by the void.
Oh.
Red says.
The void has reached the basement too, and we need to be ready for it to be here at any moment.
David says as he readies himself for combat. Behind him, Dion and Ren finish bringing to life the last mask.
We each grab at least one, and ready ourselves for the void.
David explains, picking up one of the masks and revealing a great sword of ice.
Dude, you've had that this whole time?
Red questions.
Oh, this thing? Yeah. Won it from a demon a few years back.
He starts.
Don't get him started. He loves that story.
Aaron remarks. David smirks. Suddenly, the flame loses its composure and begins flailing wildly as its hue shifts from pure red to a wild pink. Its light fades, and the air loses its warmth. Our remaining heroes are shrouded in darkness for a moment before the torch chamber door opens.
She's here!
David exclaims. Chaos rages through the room as sparks of violent energy strike through the room. A silhouette vaguely resembling Az can be spotted in the core of it, lost in the darkness that is attacking her friends. Slash. The void burns away, restoring light into the chamber as David finishes a devastating blow with his sword.
Let us help you, Az.
Dion yells as he runs toward the monster with his mask in hand. Before they can even make contact, a fragment of the eldritch chaos pulls Dion down and pulls him into the darkness.
Dion, no!
Erin yells. She throws off her beanie, unleashing her raccoon transformation to dodge the monster's attacks, but finds herself cornered in the darkness. The others watch in horror, but David resumes the action by jumping over the monster and throwing his sword to Ren. But Ren does not catch it. Instead, they use their ghostly form to possess it. Red quickly runs over and grabs the frozen Ren sword.
Sorry if this is weird.
Red apologizes before using Ren to slice through the monster.
It's chill.
They reply. Red makes another huge swing as Ren exits the possession and goes flying towards what they believe is the monster's head. With all their momentum, they slam the mask into the massive abyss, but to no avail. Ren's ghostly form is unraveled into the dark. Red and David stand back to back against the dark.
Only 2 shots left,
David says.
Yeah, I don't think we're winning here. But you still can. Good luck, David.
Red says. He looks at them, concerned. Before he can finish speaking, he realizes Red is using their gravity disruption to send him up and out of the torch's chimney chute.
Oh, fuck!
David closes his eyes to darkness and opens them to the blinding light of the blizzard. David slides down the outside of the tower, using his sword to try and stop his fall. He watches the monster crawl out of the top of the tower and lunge towards him. He swiftly spins and slices through the monster again, grabbing onto it on its way down.
Get off of me!
The monstrous remnant of Az cries out. David is shocked, as is the monster, as they both land hard onto the snow below. David once again spins his sword right around to disperse the snow around him. He stands face to face with what once was, and will soon again be demonic void. David undoes his tie and lets it fall, as he sprints towards the horrifying beast. He rolls under its arm to avoid its punch, and takes a gash out of its shoulder. Catching his breath, David quips.
You know, Az, I'm getting very sick of this. And you know the best way to prevent sickness?
The monster looks in confusion before getting angry again and charging at David.
You got to wear a mask!
He yells, pulling out the final mask and sealing it onto the monster's face. The blizzard around them is dispelled for a moment, as the darkness and chaos that have infected the door come spilling out of every crevice. All of it pours back into the monster, whose form begins to shrink down into what is finally recognizable as Az. Her eyes glow bright pink as the darkness is seemingly exorcised, for now. David offers out his hand. She takes it.
David?
They ask.
What is it?
He answers.
That was a really lame line about the mask.
The following morning, everyone is well and accounted for. Az still seems to be adjusting to their new mask, but everyone else is in decent spirits after what went down. Henry hops over to Az, looking terribly remorseful.
Oh, hey buddy. You don't need to look so glum. It's okay. I forgive you.
They comfort their froggy friend.
Thanks, everyone. I'm not the best at words, but I really appreciate what you guys did to save me. I know I can't really make up for the scare I gave you all, so,
Az is interrupted.
We got pizza! Woo!
Leaf yells, walking in with David and Richard, all holding multiple pizzas.
You've all seriously got to start catching me up on what the hell happened here.
Richard says. And as the blizzard slowly rolls along, the holiday spirit in TCR Tower holds strong. As cold as it gets, the hot chocolate drinking, gingerbread house building, and joy of being around people who you know have your back keeps the lights on. From our family to yours, whether that be chosen or blood-related, happy holidays. The end.
Happy holidays, you filthy animals.
And a happy new year from your friends at TCR.